I've spent the past almost, I think, 10 years dedicating myself to working with a group of yogic and tantric monks. A very interesting life. I think things become very interesting for me. So early in life, I had this really deep interest in things like Zen and understanding, these moments of Zen, these moments of quietude, these moments of peace, the stillness within ourselves, where the mind kind of, not that it goes offline, but we recognize that we're something more than that. We all have experienced this kind of thing. And I really wanted to dig into that more to see what that was. Because I started to see at a young age that I was becoming tangled within my emotional state, tangled in a reflexive approach and much too reflexive with people and situations where I could have been a little bit more healthily detached. But I didn't know that at the time. I didn't know that I was overly engaged with my thoughts, with my emotional states, and things that were arising in myself. Then I started practicing Ayurveda, and I started to get these little glimpses of things. And it was so fantastic. It was fantastic. It just pushed me, it propelled me through life to want to explore with more depth, understanding, meaning, and purpose, that I could bring to myself and my family and my community and others, because it was really inspiring. It was so inspiring that I wanted to pass that inspiration on to other people. And then I started studying with these monks, and I was initiated within the tantric lineage, which is called Ananda Marga, which means the path of bliss. And things got very deep very quick, and I absolutely fell in love with this process of meditating, not as a form like attaching myself to something, but as an allowance to let go of what I thought I was, to let go of these concepts, notions, these constructs that I built in myself, not even consciously, things that were implanted, from family, from society, from institutions, all of these things. And, not to negate any of those things, that's part of our society, but I was so entangled with it that I didn't even recognize it at all. In relationships, I was suffering and causing other people suffering without even knowing it. I would cause other people suffering and then ask why they were suffering, because I didn't see that I was part of the cause of that. Friendships, close, intimate relationships. So many people, and including myself, suffered because I was wrapped up in this. And so were they. But with this meditative practice and understanding and going deep into myself, I was able to start viewing my own mind. And once that began, I really stood back. I took a step back, and I could see that I wasn't what was happening in my mind, all of these feelings and these states. And once again, I'm not negating any of them. They were there. And they served a purpose at that point in time. But through meditation and these meditative practices, being able to step back allowed for freedom, like completely unshackled, right? And the more I practiced it, the more that I was uncovering what I really was, not by enforcing something upon myself, but by recognizing what I wasn't. By recognizing what I wasn't, I was ridding myself of those things, of that conditioning. You're not conditioning. You're not your set of conditioning. I'm not a set of conditioning. You're not a set of experiences. You're more than that. You're more than the accumulation of all your experiences put together. You're something much more vast, much more vast. You're not reflexive tendencies. You're not a set of feelings, and you're not all of your feelings, although those feelings arise within you. But it's very important to ask, why are these feelings arising within me? Why do I respond to situations in this particular way? What is that? And we can see that's a set of conditioning, right? These are these kinds of constructs that we put upon ourselves, right? We limit ourselves through the unconscious beliefs that we hold, through unconsciously identifying as this or that. So in Sanskrit, we have this term, and it's so beautiful, and it's so simple, and it's just neti, not this, not this. So every time a thought comes up, we say, well, am I that? Well, you're more than a thought, right? You say neti neti, not this, not this. It's like, you say you're the sky, and say you're just vast, the vast open sky, space itself, right? Not just the blueness of our atmosphere, but the sky, right? Everything out there, this vast cosmos and beyond, right? Do we confuse ourselves for a cloud passing by? And that cloud is like an emotional state that comes and goes. We can get entangled in it. It's very easy to do. Most of us have done that our entire lives. But entangling ourselves with these fleeting and transient states only propagates them more within those neural networks in our mind, right? We strengthen that within ourselves. But if we recognize, oh, I'm the sky, I'm the vastness, and this passing phase, this passing emotional state, I'm not that. This is just a passing thing. It's a visitor. We can say, oh, anger is here, or oh, sadness is here, or oh, right? We can say these things to ourselves. We can say, oh, anxiety's here. And it's as a visitor, and it's passing by. And we allow it. We don't suppress it. We don't regress to another state to try to deal with it. We don't try to, take on another state of mind to deal with it. We just recognize it. We witness it. We see that cloud is just a passing visitor, and the vast awareness of myself, of what I am. And so I wrote a book called Beyond I Am. And in this book, we look at the depth of what we are. So if we look as deep as we can at ourselves to see what we are, beyond these thoughts, feelings, ideas, notions, ideologies, all of these things, right? We can see that there's a sense of just I am. Just a presence. Just a presence. And that's the starting point. That's the starting point here. There's something beyond that, though, as well. There's a witness to that I am, right? There's something that stands back and says, that just witnesses. There's no words. It actually doesn't say anything. There's no words, there's no thoughts, there's no feelings. If anything, it's cosmic bliss, what we call Ananda. And it's not bliss in the sense like our bodily sensations. It's freedom from the shackles of all of these unconsciously self-imposed states which we shackle ourselves to, right? Unconsciously, subconsciously, right? We gravitate towards these tendencies. But when we step in that space of I am, it gives us the opportunity to look at all of these things which occur within ourselves. And then after some time, we can say to ourselves, wait a minute, who's viewing that I am? And we start to dwell within that space. And within that space comes freedom, beautiful freedom for ourselves. In my book, I discuss this at quite great length. I really look forward to anyone picking this up. It'd be very helpful to me, and I think that you would enjoy it very much. Okay, namaskar.